or 1200 on pizza every month. So they take it a challenge. Okay, she is asking about pizza.
You know what?
Yes,
But
it comes,
don't say that. I've learned firsthand that can, strike people the wrong way. I can see in their face that this is not, because nobody compromises on food in Pakistan, right? You cannot compare anything with food, especially pizza, especially yeah, especially so yeah. No one touches pizza. Yeah. So, don't say that.
You can also do a demo meeting where you give a demo, just one speech as a demo, and then have another person talk about the benefits of Toastmasters. So, mini demo meeting to show what's, some people may hesitate to come to the regular meeting. So if you organize
towards
a location where they can easily come, and then so they can see, hey, and then invite them to come to the meeting and see for themselves and decide if this is something for them or not.
So
Thank you so much.
No problem. You can just start with empathizing with them that, I know it's a huge amount of money, but you will get more than your money's worth. That should be the selling point rather than, comparing it with pizza and other things, because that doesn't work.
And offer snacks. People will always come if there's food, free food.
I will say that you will have 4 pizzas. You will afford 4 pizzas in the next few months.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Thala, you are mute.
Yes, actually, I'm taking the roll call of role players. So, yeah, just give me a moment. Yes. All right, everyone. Yes, starting. We have just one guest, Toastmaster Ibtihaj Fatma. So, yeah. Toastmaster Ibtihaj, can you introduce yourself once again?
Yes. Yes. I am a Toastmaster Ibtihaj Fatma, and I am joined your meeting as a guest. I am from Cloud 122 Toastmasters Club. I am studying at University of Education, Lahore, in BS Botany, and I want to be distinguished Toastmasters soon.
I can do it briefly. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for not applauding me. Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, my role is to make sure that the meeting proceedings are on time. There will be different timing for different segments. For prepared speeches, if the speech is from 5 to 7 minutes. For online speakers, all you need to pin the timer screen, or the tech host will spotlight the timer screen. At green, my virtual background for online speakers will turn into green, and for physical one, I'll show the green bulb. At 5 minutes, at 6 minutes, I'll show the yellow bulb, and for the for virtual speakers, my background will turn into yellow. And at 7 minutes, I'll show the red bulb, and for virtual speakers, my background will turn into red. So this red color means that the speaker has only 30 seconds left to wrap up his or her speech. After that, he or she will be disqualified. And for table topics, the speaker has to speak for about 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll show the green light. At 1.5, I'll show the yellow light. And at 2 minutes, I'll show the red light. This red color means speaker has 30 seconds left to complete his or her speech. And for prepared speech evaluation, this evaluator has 2 to 3 minutes to complete his evaluation. At 2 minutes, I'll show the green. At 2.5, I'll show the yellow. And at 3 minutes, I'll show the red color. After 30 seconds, he or she will be disqualified from voting. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Now I call upon the our counter team Fahim Razak to introduce himself.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. And good evening, ladies and gents. As an R counter, I'll be looking out for any filler words or any spaces or any pauses, such as so, well, and you know. I'll be presenting my reports at the end of the meeting towards the general evaluation report, at the general evaluation segment. And with that, back to you, PMD.
Now is the time for vote counter. So DTM Talab and Ahmed, please explain your vote.
Thank you so much. As vote counter, I'll be floating the polls at various points of the meeting. The polls will be for the best speaker, best evaluator, best table topic speaker, best big four, and best facilitator. The polls will be floated through a Google form, and every time it is floated, you are supposed to vote. And as vote counter, I'm not supposed to vote unless there's a tie. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
The word master isn't here, listener isn't here now. It's time for the joke because there are 3 facilitators who are missing right now.
Yeah.
So we'll have the introduction later.
You can introduce the roles.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As the grammarian usually corrects the incorrect usage, corrects the usage of grammar in the prepared speeches and the table topic session, and highlights the correct basically the grammarian highlights the incorrect usage of grammar and words spoken by the prepared speaker in the table topic session, and highlights the correct usage, how to use it properly at the end of the session. And the word master, the word of the day is
Uprear.
uprear. It means
To lift up, arise, ascend, uprise.
to lift up, to arise, to ascend. And the word of the day has to be spoken in the prepared speeches and in the table topic session book. And the listener is the one who usually makes note of all the interesting words and phrases spoken by the speaker during the prepared speeches and the table topic session. And as for the jokes now. Okay, why did the maths textbook visit the guidance counselor? Why did the maths textbook visit the guidance counselor? Because he had too many issues, problems. Because it needed help figuring out its problems. Long time ago, people who sacrificed their sleep, laughter, sleep, family, food, and other joys of life are called saints. Now, what are they called? IT professionals. All my life, I thought air was free until I bought a bag of chips. What did the elevator say when it sneezed? I think I'm coming down with something. Now it's the time for the prepared speeches. So I'll first hand over the virtual stage to DTM Sarfaraz Nazir and his evaluator TM Fahim Razak.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. And once again, good evening, ladies and gents. Our next speaker is DTM Sir Sarfaraz Nazir. He is doing a speech from his pathway innovative planning and level 1. And the project is evaluation and feedback. So this is the speech 2. So he needs to apply the feedback that he received from speech 1. But guess what? he hasn't had any improvement areas, so there's no surprises there. So it's just a normal speech for him. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. And the title of this speech is Match Made in Heaven. DTM Sir Sarfraz Nazir, Match Made in Heaven. Over to you.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. When it comes to girls and women, it appears that my heart is like a revolving door. They came in and they left. I'm going to pick up my story where I left it last time, Nasreen. When Nasreen moved into our neighborhood, a couple of houses down from our house, immediately she spread her spider's web, and I became one of the victims. She was very shrewd. She wanted boys to fight over her. She wanted boys to fall over her. But she was not the type of girl that you would ask your parents that you want to marry her. And here's why. One night I was studying. It was around midnight. Nasreen's brother Khalid saw that the light was on. He came by, knocked on the window. I went out and we walked around for a few minutes, chit-chatting. As we passed by Ruby's house, we noticed that the light in the drawing room or the living room was on. We went inside to investigate. There was a sofa next to the window. Ruby was lying on the sofa. Her eyes were closed and a textbook, an open textbook, was lying on her chest. We knocked lightly on the window. Ruby woke up, picked up the book and started reading. And he said, "Hey, Ruby, Ruby." So we asked her what she was studying. We just spent a few minutes and we left. At that time, I did not know. But the next day, Ruby told Nasreen that her brother and I had come by while she was studying or supposed to be studying. That made Nasreen jealous. Nasreen told Ruby, "Go tell your brother that Sarfraz came to see you in the middle of the night." So when Ruby's brother, who was a very good friend of mine, Ayub, saw me, he turned around. He wouldn't talk to me. And I did not know why at the time. It took several weeks for me to mend my friendship with him. So Nasreen was not the type of person you would want to marry. But that's not the impression I gave to my parents. There was a time when I got so involved in my studies that I would not talk to anyone inside the house. I would go sit down at the dining table, spend a few minutes eating, and then get up and go back to studying. That went on for 2 weeks. My parents got concerned. They thought, perhaps I am in love. One day, my father called me. So my parents sent me down, and they tried to tell me that Nasreen was not the right type of person for me. I said, "I don't want to marry Nasreen." They were surprised. So you see, just because people come into your life doesn't mean that they are right for you. Right after I came to America, I met a Pakistani female, Rashida, through the Pakistan Students Association of America. She was living in Virginia near Washington, DC. We talked on the phone, we exchanged letters. One day, she said she was coming to my town. She must have had some business, I did not know. But when she arrived, I took her out for lunch. There was no chemistry, no fireworks. And that was the end of Rashida. Then once I met a girl at a convenience store. We talked for a few minutes and we had a great time talking to each other. The next time I saw her, she asked me, "If there is a war in your country, do you have to go back?" I knew why she was asking. She was thinking that I might be marriage material. So I thought, well, I don't want to give them the impression that I'm available. So whenever I met a female, I started asking them, what is your dream? What are your future plans? I was not interested in their future plans. I asked this question because I wanted them to ask me. So when they asked me, what is your future plan? I would say, I'm thinking of getting a PhD in nuclear science, and that turned them off. I've already mentioned Lucy. Lucy was the one that called me on Saturday, 14th of February, on Valentine's Day. And she said, oh, I called to wish you happy Valentine's Day. Then when I told her, hey, I'm already married, that was the end of Lucy. Now, I never paid attention to marriage. I was busy studying. But one day, I received a letter from my family. I opened the letter. There was a picture of a female. I'm not going to give you the exact name because this speech is being recorded and live streamed. I'll just call her Farida. According to my mother, she had gone to someone's house for some function or event one afternoon. There, a lady was also visiting, and she had brought some of her nieces. One of them was Farida, a tall girl, a few inches taller than I am, and she was blessed by the right amount of meat on her bones. According to my mother informed them that my son is in America. My mother says it was less than an hour after she had gotten home that those sisters appeared, and they were interested in her son. So I looked at the picture. She was supposed to be someone that I was supposed to spend the rest of my life. So I made plans, went back to Karachi. One evening, Farida and I were left alone in the drawing room or the living room. My parents were outside with the other family members on the front lawn. My sister in the bedroom, but actually they were in the doorway, wanted to see what was going on. Now, when I sat next to Farida, I was expecting she might say, oh, I have not been able to sleep thinking about you. I've spent weeks, days, hours, minutes, seconds waiting for you. No, I was not ready. I was not prepared for what she said. The first words that came out of her mouth were, where are the diamonds? Now, she said softly, sarcastically, where are the diamonds? But the way I heard it, where are the diamonds? And that made me mad. See, she was not interested in me. She was looking at me as a ticket to America. Come to America, spend a few months here, shopping, go back and spend a few months. I went to my sisters. I said, she is not right for me. You see, she was not right because a match had already been made for me in heaven. Matches are made in heaven. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
No audio.
Apologies, I muted myself. Anyhow, I was just introducing your project. So, evaluation and feedback is a project in which the speaker is supposed to deliver a speech that can be on any topic of their choosing, as long as it fulfills certain conventional criteria of being a speech. So today, Toastmaster Wahid will be delivering his speech, and the speech title is
All right. A freshman getting his first part-time job. So everyone, please put your hands together for a freshman getting his first part-time job. Toastmaster Wahid Baksh.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So a freshman getting his first part-time job. One day, TM Muhammad Asghar came to our flat in Karachi with a special book. It was a book by Sayyid Sadat Ali Shah, a 2000 edition of Exploring the World of English, which he had bought from Urdu Bazaar. This was a voluminous, thick, more than 1,000 pages book with different chapters of grammar, idiom, vocabulary, essay, and letter writing. Asghar indeed brought this book for me to uprear my knowledge of English. We went through the book on the weekends. So we started reading the book which he brought for me to upgrade my English knowledge. So, dear Toastmasters and attended guests, good evening to you all after a long time being back. 3 years later, I was in a class in Sistan and Balochistan University in Zahedan. I was sitting there in a state university. So our lecturer entered into the room. He was a mid-height person with overweight, characteristics. So he entered into the class and praised us for passing the competitive exam of entering into the university, which is called Concours in Iran. So, and he also congratulated us that we have been accepted in the English literature in a state university. He also talked a little bit about the procedure of the classes, doing our attendance and participating and getting ready for our midterm and final exams. Then he went on to write some of the source books for the course, which was reading and comprehension course for us. Then he ordered us to note down the 3 source books which he has scribbled down on the whiteboard. We have noted them, and later on he asked about introduction of each student so that we know each other. On the final segment of the class, he asked us that if there is any volunteer to engage the class for 2 minutes describing any topic in English. I was one of the students who rose on his feet and went forward to talk about an idiom behind which there wasn't a story, to engage the class for 2 minutes. The idiom which I selected and I remember was chosen exactly from the same book that I have mentioned in the beginning. The idiom was Achilles' heel. So I told the students that Achilles was a Greek mythic hero and warrior, that he has fought in the wars of that time, and he had some good qualities like bravery, pride, good military skills, which the Greek people at that time praised a lot for manly virtues of the fighter of that time. So Achilles also had some weaknesses and some bad, behavioral attitudes like stubbornness, revengefulness, and these kinds of things. So Achilles, when he was six years old, he could run fast enough to catch deer by running, and he was destined, according to some legends, that he's going to have two fates. One was that he's going to have a long life without glory. Another fate was that he is going to die a glorious death in a battlefield, but younger. So Achilles' mother was really worried about his son. Thetis, his mother, took Achilles to the Styx River, which was a river which flowed to the land of underworld, the land of the dead. So Achilles' mother took Achilles and dipped him into the water to make him invulnerable in the fight. When she dipped Achilles, since she was holding the heel of Achilles, so everywhere where the water reached, they were invulnerable, but the only vulnerable point was his heel. So later on, Achilles went to the war in the Trojan War when he was fighting. Paris shot him in the heel by a poisoned arrow, and Achilles died because of that poisonous arrow which struck him in the heel. So figuratively, finally concluding to the students, I told them that Achilles' heel means the weakest point or the vulnerable point of a person. This was the story for the students that I described. But for me, next week, fortunately, I got my first part-time job from my teacher to work in his office to help him in the paperwork. And this was indeed the Achilles heel of my lecture. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. You are mute.
Yes, I'm muted again, and I'm back again. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hibari Khan. So, hello, Toastmaster and guests. I'm actually very nervous right now because I think it's the first time I'm actually evaluating the champion Toastmaster Anna, but I'll try. Toastmaster Anna will be presenting a speech from the pathway which is engaging humor. The project is to basically to connect with your audience. And the speech title is Jack of all trades, the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to actually connect with an unfamiliar audience. And so with that, it's over to you, Toastmaster Anand.
Life is not a bed of roses. Neither the wind always blows your way. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I, being an Eastern lady, born to an Eastern family, to an Eastern woman, and just like all the other moms, she was also fond of, and she wished that her daughters would be a source of appreciation for everybody, the entire family. And not just the appreciation, but yet someone that the rest of the family would look up to. And hence, I, being the eldest one, was once targeted to finally know and learn how to stitch. It was one fine day when I was 13 years old, when my mother came up to me. She said, "Oh, you know, the so-and-so lady is so expert in stitching nice clothes. Look, so cute designs. Look, how fashionable." Just another attempt for these Eastern moms to actually convince us to do something instead of actually asking us to do something. And hence, I, being the naive one, caught the bait and finally decided to, yes, okay, mom, I'm ready. Let's stitch something. So the lesson began, and we held a needle and a thread. But first thing the Eastern moms do, scare the kids to the level that they don't attempt to go the other way. And to start with, she told me how to hold the needle and to tackle it really nicely, inserting it back into the thread so that it is not left unattended anywhere. What if it got pierced into the skin and would travel through the bloodstream, and just like the Cupid's arrow, would pierce finally into the heart, resulting death? Guess what? I, being the naive one again, got into it, got scared. Oh no, mom, I'll be very careful with the needle next time. And hence we started the stitching process. One by one, I took out the needles from the thread, tried to hold it, but no, another mistake. I just held my head high to tell mom that finally I have the needle in my hand. I'm about to put the thread inside the hole. But all I could see was her sarcastic eyes telling me, "Is this how you hold a needle? I know you are the intellectual one and the one who knows how to write by pen, but this is how you don't hold the needle. You carry it like this, putting the thread inside, and then finally getting stitch by stitch, taking it equidistantly into the cloth." And yes, we did it. One after another. It felt fun. And the moment I held it high so that I could gather the thread all along through the cloth, what happened? The entire needle and the thread came out. The cloth was still unstitched. What went wrong? Mom? Beta, you didn't put the knot on the other end. Everything went futile. Start doing it once again. And yes, we restarted it. Finally stitching it nicely and carefully, putting the thread carefully inside the thread once done. And yes, just as Armstrong would have been successful on reaching the moon and would have said, "Yahoo!" I too held my stitched cloth up and was just about to scream Yahoo when I realized that something was tucking on my shirt as well. Not the shirt that I was stitching, but the one that I was wearing. What happened now? I stitched that piece of cloth to my dress. I had been so careful in taking the stitches equidistantly that I had completely forgotten there was another cloth beneath it, and hence another blunder. This time, I didn't have the courage to even eye my mother. And silently, I cut the thread, let it be as it is, took out the needle, took out the thread, and silently started one after another. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, all this maneuver taught me one thing. You cannot be the jack of all trades. Neither can you learn everything once. It's up to your capability, your standing, what you are good at. So realize your strengths, realize your weaknesses if you really want to work on that, and work according to that, aiming one after another. Because you cannot jump high and you cannot reach the mountain in one go. It is the steps that count that take you to your destination. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
I hope I will hear to Hibari's.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, you are.
Now you are audible.
Okay. And now it's time for DTM Janab Ahmed to deliver speech and call upon his evaluator, CM Muhassan.
Fadal is not here.
Yes, he's here.
He's outside.
He's outside.
Aya is going to prayer.
Can we wait?
Perfect timing.
So TM Shakiduddin isn't here. Is he
No.
online?
None of the others are speaking today. Oh, yeah. So
Saab has a
I'm
speech,
wondering
right?
why you make it a speech.
Come on, your name was there.
And yes, it was. It was.
So let's wait anyway. Yes.
Or we can move on to table topics. Table topic master is not here.
Yes, we are stuck.
The table topics master is here actually. Yeah. The backup table topics.
Who was the
master is
backup?
here. Yeah. So shall we wait?
Why not we take a namaz?
Yeah. Yeah, we can take a prayer break. All right. So everyone, we are taking 5 to 10 minutes prayer break, and we'll resume
It's 1928, so we'll resume after 1938.
38. Yeah.
And
And resume at 7:38. All right. We are resuming. Everyone, we are resuming. Thank you for waiting. Yeah.
आपका एक मिनट लैपटॉप चार्ज है?
हाँ।
अब तो नहीं हो।
नहीं। All right. I think we can resume.
Yes.
And now I call upon, after the break, now I call upon DTM Kanabin Ahmed and evaluator TM Muqaddil to explain the objective of the speech.
Hello everyone, it's my honor to evaluate DTM Kanabin Ahmed. This will be my first evaluation with Kanabin Ahmed. So I hope I do the justice with that. Okay, so the title of the speech is the Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard.
Blizzard of the Lizard. Blizzard of Lizards. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance his speech. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. So let's start. Over to you, DTM.
I don't know. Some time. Am I audible and visible? Online audience? Can anyone confirm?
Yes, you are.
All right. Thank you. I woke up in the middle of the night. I was drenched in sweat. There was darkness all around. The room was completely deserted. I wondered whether it was the apocalypse, or in other words, power outage. But then I looked to my left and the washroom light was on. So I thought I saw that. But then I wondered, why is the pedestal fan off? Why are there no other lights in the room? And where is everyone? But first, I had to fix the weather. So I went to the pedestal fan switch, turned it on, and started. And then it got stuck in something, as if its wings were facing some turbulence. Then it happened. I got sprayed with some squelchy things like this. and some fine liquid like this. I screamed, "What is going on?" That's when the door burst open, and my better half came. "What happened? What happened? Are you okay?" Looked at her and said, "What's going on? Where is everybody? What is it on me?" And then I looked at the fan. In the cage around the wings, there was a decapitated lizard wiggling around since it had lost its feet and its legs and its tail and even its head. And where were those things? On me. And that fine spray was its blood.
Oh my God.
I screamed once again, "Yahoo! I killed another lizard!" My wife stared at me in her usual familiar, hopeless expression. She said, "You did not kill it. The fan killed it." And I said, "But what the hell is going on?" And she calmly informed me that actually what happened was you had gone to sleep and this lizard was crawling 2 feet from your head. So we decided to shift to the other room. And you left alone, me alone with this monster? Well, my wife said, "You have the guts. We didn't." And I looked at where my guts should have been, and I certainly saw guts, which were lizard guts. I rushed to the washroom. It all started a few years ago when we shifted to this current place. Everything was squeaky clean. We were putting in our furniture and fixtures, and we spied a little black, glistening baby lizard on the wall. My wife told me, kill it right now. It will go away with just a slipper." And I said to her, "Oh, no. Look at it. It's just a baby. It is someone's baby too." And you know, its black, glistening, lumpy form reminded me of myself when I was a baby. So I did not kill it. And the rest, as they say, is history, because these days our house is infested by the very descendants of that evil being. And you know what is our usual SOP of killing lizards? First, there's always a scream. So, for example, my wife sees a lizard. "Tim, come in!" And like a knight in shining armor, I burst through the door and, weapon in hand, I scream, "Parise, Asman, Chandra is here!" All my 4 kids. And we all gather around the wizard. "Avengers, assemble!" And we are making noises and shouting and moving. And the lizard is staring at us. And we are acting all brave, but secretly we're hoping that it goes away and creeps behind something. Yeah. But then I stumbled upon the magic insecticide spray. So now what I usually do in my endless bravery, I stand 10 feet away and aim the insecticide at the lizard and spray until it has inhaled half the bottle. Then what happens? It gradually starts to faint, and it faints 12 hours later at the exact time when the maid is cleaning the room. And that is how, ladies and gentlemen, we get rid of lizards. Talk about a clean shot. What is it about lizards? Why do they disgust us? Why do we want to kill them? Did you know that there are 7,000 species of lizards in the world? And they range from 3 centimeters to 3 meters. There's a lizard, Komodo dragon in Indonesia that can measure 11 feet. And you know, when you look at the pictures of these lizards, some of them don't have even feet. They slither around like snakes. So imagine the torso of a snake and the head of a lizard. And you start to lose faith in whatever God that exists. No God would allow such monstrosities, and no God would allow flying cockroaches. Yes. But these things happen. And did you know that lizards are not harmful to humans at all? In fact, they clean up our houses by eating insects. Does that make an iota of difference when you see one and want to scream? No. You want to get 10 miles away from wherever that lizard is. I don't know what is it, whether it is the stunning looks, the slithery skin, the way it walks around its head in search of prey, whatever it is. In the days that it takes you to kill a single lizard, it has multiplied, and before long, there will be a knock on the door, and there will be giant lizards struggling to get in. Over to you, Toastmasters.
I think Jim Shakiluddin is in there.
No.
He's all right.
I think there's
No, I don't think he's there. No, wait. No, I don't think he's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Timer, have all the speakers qualified?
We have one time disqualification, and he is distinguished Toastmaster Sarfraz Nazir. He took 7 minutes and 37 seconds.
37 seconds. Now you decide.
7 seconds.
He's
actually
disqualified.
not in the meeting.
He's not even in the meeting
He's
yet.
not in the meeting.
All right. All right.
He will log in later.
Actually, he was logged in, but I think
He
he's
told her he will be leaving
Yeah.
the airport.
all right. So I'll be floating the poll. So meanwhile, you can move on.
Okay. So now we move on to the second part of the session, the table topic session. Is TM Rabia Zishan?
Actually, Toastmaster Alam Kadir will conduct the table topic session.
Okay. So TM Anam Kadri, the virtual stage is yours for the table topic section.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I am the table topic master for today. And being the table topic master, I would like you to highlight some of the events of your life regarding the topic that I'll be giving you today. So I know everybody of you have your moments of life that tells you something that you learn through. So we are going to work, we are going to listen to those moments of your life and have a little fun here. So starting with, I'll be going for the online participants first. We have Ibtihaj Fatma here. Ibtihaj, would you please turn on your video so that I can give you a topic for, yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Toastmaster Ibtihaj Fatma. What was the most inspiring moment of your life? What was the most inspiring moment of your life? Your word of the day is a prayer. Over to you, Toastmaster Ibtihaj Fatma.
The most inspiring moment of my life was when I was cleaning my home and my dad came. He kissed me on my forehead. I was totally surprised. What happened? And then I came to know that he's coming from parent-teacher meeting, and my 7th grade results came out. My parents decided to shift me to some other school, and there I have many new members. Those were considered to be very good in English communication and studies. But me, being the very dumb student, was not expected to top at that exam. And the second most part was that the part which was unbelievable that I am the topper, because in every exam, due to nervousness and tension, I am having fever. So that getting a good reason for not getting good marks. But at that time, I not only gained good marks, but also I got appreciation, and that was the moment. And after that, I never had fever in exams. So I think so that was the appreciation, and it was just by luck, because I didn't prepare for it. But after that, I started pushing myself and I got the first exam. So please leave your fevers and try hard.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ibtihaj. Yes, you are right. Leave your fevers and strive hard. Our next speaker for today is Toastmaster Shamam Khan. Toastmaster Shamam, may I have you? Can I see your video? Thank you. Toastmaster Shamam. The word of the day is a prayer. Any fear in your life that upraired you or uplifted your spirits? Any fear in your life that upraired or uplifted your spirits? Toastmaster Shamam.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Am I audible? Okay. Thank you, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Anam. Fears that uprear us. We can't get a long life if we are not under fears. That's one thing that I have collected from my experience in life. For every achievement that I have had since my childhood is a result of a fear. From school days, not being a good student in the eyes of the teacher, in teenage, not being a good daughter in the eyes of my mother, in work days, not being a good employee in the eyes of my employer. These are all fears. And that there could be two things that I could live with. I could just let them go, ignore, but those things really uplifted me, upreared me every way of my life. And to top it all, having a child, being a single mother, the fear of not being a good mother. Literally, if I thank Toastmaster Anam for asking me this question, that would be the message that for your children, the fear of not being a good parent is something that is something that makes you so bright in their lives. They are always thankful for your fear of not proving to them that you are good parents. I can't see the timer here, so I'm not sure if I'm making it up to the thing, but if I can't see the timer.
It's yellow.
It's yellow, okay, fine. So I'll just conclude everything, fellow Toastmasters. We also have a guest. The fears, again, would take you along. So do not be fearful of the fears. Take them along, live with them, and prove yourself. Those fears are so important in our lives that we can't even pray to God to make us fearless, make us able to face the fears is something that we all should be praying. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shamam, for such a valuable message that fears really drive you towards your destination, towards your success. All right, our next topic for today is for Toastmaster Ali Hussain. Toastmaster Ali Hussain.
Now at least.
Yeah, Ali Hussain.
Okay. So any facts or words that you ever heard of that proved to be a turning point for your life? Any facts or words that you heard that proved to be a turning point of your life. Your word of the day is a prayer. Over to you, Toastmaster Ali.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anna. Yeah, it feels scary coming to Toastmasters after a long time, especially for table topic. So coming to the topic, the words that were actually like up rare for me for my life. It reminds me of an event when I was doing my intermediate, and I used to study in an academy. After the college, I used to go to the academy, and the principal over there was really good at reading the lines of the hand. And once I got a chance to go to him and get to know what the lines of my hand are saying. It was the first time I was consulting a palmist, and I still recall when he held my hand, he with the pen he marked the lines on my hand, and he said that when I see your hand, it just feels like किसी की lottery निकल आई है. And when I asked what does it mean, he said that it's like when it comes to health, money, and the fate is ready to welcome you on a high note. Wherever you will go, you will be making a lot of money with good health, with good relation, with good family and friends. And those words, it's been like almost 10 years or more than 10 years, the words were said by the principal. I think that has been one of the events that helped me upgrade in terms of spirits, in terms of life. And since then, I have been experiencing good experiences along the path of life, and looking forward to more in the future as well. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ali Hassan. Really empowering moment that you shared with us. Ms. President, do we have any guests physically in the room?
No.
No, we don't. I think you
or
can.
Anybody who would like to speak?
One name is there. I think some guest in the online. Can you see the guest in the online?
Madam President would like to
speak. All right.
I think Diana's hand is up.
Yeah, actually, Diana asked to be given a topic, and she would speak while writing in the chat box. So that's what Toastmaster Diana will do. That's
all right. Yes, she's writing the lines in the text. Yes, I can read them. Thank you, Toastmaster Diana. I can read your messages. Anybody else who want to come forward to speak?
Yes, Madam President wants to come.
Okay, Toastmaster Wahid also wants to speak. Who should I go for first? Okay, we have Madam President here. Madam President, the word of the day is a prayer. And any dreams in your life that you think uplifted your spirits? Dreams in your life that you think uplifted your spirits? Over to you, Toastmaster Hiba Reis Khan. Dreams.
Yes. I always had a dream of, visiting one of the countries, United Kingdom. So I remember back in my around 18 years ago, I got to visit that country. And it's a country which we all know that is associated with big authors and all big famous authors, famous actors and actresses such as Christopher Lee and even authors such as J.K. Rowling and Enid Blyton and R.K. Tolkien and many other famous writers. So I got to visit that country. I remember meeting different kind of people and visiting different interesting places, historical places, because England is a very old. It's a country which is more than 1,000 years old. So it has a deep, rich history. And I got to also see and experience their different foods since I'm a foodie and I love eating food. So I remember eating fish and chips, which is a very famous dish of UK. So that is one of the dreams that I got to fulfill.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hiba. Okay, Toastmaster Wahid, I'll give you one topic and then I'll be reading in Toastmaster Diana's messages that she has been writing up till now. Toastmaster Wahid, are you ready?
Actually, Toastmaster Mariam is also online, so maybe.
Okay, Toastmaster Mariam, do you want to go in first?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Toastmaster Mariam. How does rain affect you? Is it something positive or negative for you? How does rain affect you? Toastmaster Mariam, your word of the day is a prayer.
Thank you so much. Let's talk about how privileged we are if we were sitting in our home and enjoying the rain. Yes, I enjoyed the rain. I was the privileged one, but yet there were many whose life was affected, who could not go out to find the food for their family, for the newborn baby. There were many who was waiting for the rain to stop. My cousin's home was all filled with water. She had to move out. She had to go somewhere else for a safer place. I enjoyed the rain because I was privileged. I was at my home in a safer place. I did not have to worry about anything. I could see outside. I could feel it. I was not in misery. And I was enjoying it. Yet, I believe I was privileged. But for those, the rain, which caused damage, which caused them to find a way out, which really made them tough, made the time tough for them. For them, it was very hard. I could have enjoyed that, but seeing all those things, feeling those moments, I was thanking Allah, but at the same time, I was praying that we don't want such rains. I hope next time when the rain comes, it would be privileged for everyone, and I hope everyone will enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Maria. Okay, so to head on, I'll be reading the messages that I've been receiving from Toastmaster, that we have been receiving from Toastmasters Diana. Prayer, my life is feeling that entire as celebration. She enjoyed her birthday last week, and yes, these were the messages that she has been giving, that how uplifting her birthday celebration had been. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Diana. Shall I go in for one more Toastmaster of the day, or should I end it here? Do we have time?
Just leave it there. You should finish the session.
You. You know, yes. Yeah.
Okay. We do not, the timer is saying that we do not have time.
I did not say anything.
I'll be winding it up here. No worries. For the vote counter, please note we have Toastmaster Iftihaj, Toastmaster Shamam, Toastmaster Ali Hasnain, Toastmaster Mariam, and Toastmaster Hiba as our speakers. I hope I'm not missing out on anybody. Yes, these were the speakers, the table topic speakers for today. I had a blast of an experience today. I witnessed very nice moments from everyone, some mischievous ones like getting over with your exams due to fever. And then I had some empathetic ones like the Toastmaster Mariam shared. It was a really refreshing moment for me and for this to have different variety of table topics being shared with us. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster, for today.
Have all the table topic speakers?
It's done.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we move on to the third part of the session, which is the general evaluation. And the general evaluator for today is none other than DTM Talha bin Ahmed.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. General evaluation, as we all know, is the main session in the Toastmasters meeting. It is what everything boils down to, and everything is done because of this session. So I'll be doing it a little differently. I'll be going according to the sequence of events that took place today. So first, congratulations to all of us. The meeting started right on time, even though attendance was low, but all the necessary role players were there. And those that weren't there got there in time. So we were able to start in time. And yeah, 3 speakers, including Toastmaster Imran Rana and Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir and Toastmaster Shakir, did not deliver their speeches. So that's all, let that sink in for a moment. 4 out of 7 speakers did not deliver their speeches. Sorry, 3 out of 7 speakers did not deliver their speeches today. So yeah. So with that, we now move on to the speech evaluations. And our first speaker is distinguished Toastmaster Sarfraz Nazir, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Fahim Razak.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator Talha bin Ahmed. And good evening once again, ladies and gents. DTM Sarfraz mentioned in his speech that some people come into your life, but that doesn't mean they are worth staying in your life. But let me say this, sir, you coming into our life worth 1,000 times is priceless. Invaluable lessons, the learning that we get week on week from your speech is invaluable. Because once again, a very, very masterful speech, and that's also on your favorite topic, women in your life. I love the way you started as your analogy, as a revolving door, that is the woman coming into your life and going out just as quickly as they can. And then, of course, that led you into the woman in your life. You started with your first one, which was Nasreen. Humor is spread throughout. You started as if she was spreading the spider web and you got trapped in. Well, of course, you had the choice, but you decided to get trapped in. Then came Rashida. I mean, look at the options that you have. You are trying to get out of their life. I remember whole of my teenage, my 20s, my 30s, trying to get into their life. And you're trying to get out of their life by mentioning that you want to do a PhD in nuclear science so that they just leave you alone. As I said, once again, humor is spread throughout. And then the way you were flowing it woman by woman very naturally. You see, when I write the speech and when I'm trying to deliver it, always my dilemma is how am I going to move on from topic to topic, because it needs to look very, very natural. And that seems to come to you very naturally, because you started with Nasreen, then Rashida, then Farida, then Lucy, and that all seems, we didn't feel like there was a disconnection within your speech. So that's again because it's your experience, it's the way you just deliver it. And you see, for the first time in my life, I was able to say that I have so many more women in my life than I can handle. But sadly, it's handling your list of women as opposed to handling women in my life. As with regard to improvements, I will be pulling out something out of the thin air if I have to give you something. There really isn't anything that I can offer you here. All that I can offer is what DTM Talha offered to you last time. Please just keep on coming. We love it, the way you deliver it, especially the topic on the women. And I have 5 more women to add to the list, which I will be circulating it soon. With that, back to you, General Khaled.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Fahim. And you're not the only one. Okay, fine. We'll talk later. Yes. Our next speaker for today is Toastmaster Al-Qadri, and she will be evaluated by DTM Saad.
Thank you very much, general evaluators. So, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests, we had the champion speaking.
Yeah.
And not actually the first lady, but the champion Toastmaster Al-Qadri and Toastmaster Al-Qadri. Your project was all about engaging with the audience and actually explaining a story which we have not heard before. But I was actually thinking that we know you so well. You have been giving speech after speech after speech. What would be left to actually tell us? But you pulled a rabbit out of the hat with another masterful story. Your speech had good moments that when you were actually in characters, you were moving left and right according to the character. Your vocal variety was on point. That you switched to the character masterfully and expertly, as always. As your project was about telling a story, you even used a prop to explain that story, which was expertly done. Your eye contact, even though it's very much difficult to maintain the eye contact in an online meeting, but you manage that always. Now for some points to work upon. Your speeches had those punchlines, but those weren't really emphasized enough. You didn't pause on it, and that would have been much better if those were there. And you did engage the audience with the pauses, but you did not ask the questions or anything. But overall, a masterful speech. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. Let me remind the evaluators that please share your scores out of 10 about how your speech, how your target speaker's speech adhered to the project objectives. So next,
send it to.
Sorry. Send it to Toastmaster. Next, we have Toastmaster Wahid, and I am the evaluating Toastmaster Wahid. So, Toastmaster Wahid, Achilles heel. I must say that your speech was very intriguing. It was more like a story, very engaging story, and it was more like a fireside chat that you were relating to. And it had that tonal quality as well. I believe that you started in a very engaging manner by citing one of our most popular members, Toastmasters. That will never fail to catch our attention. Although we are always hoping that you will share something juicy and spicy about him, but you always praise him, and that's highly disappointing. Anyhow, that was a really good technique. And one thing that I'm thrilled about today was when you said that you wrote a book about English writing technique from Urdu Bazaar. Now, that was such a subtle piece of humor. It was so sophisticated, so incredibly done in a deadpan manner. That was like your absolute perfect piece of humor that you delivered during the speech. You did not oversell it, you did not land it like a punchline, and yet it became a punchline. And of course, your vocabulary is absolutely inspiring to all of us, the vocabulary that we use, even to describe everyday situations. It is fantastic. Now, a few improvement areas, and today I noticed more than usual. Your camera angle, although I'm not a great fan of commenting on camera angle and lighting during the, because see, everyone has their setup and they're working within their infrastructure, but today your camera angle really hampered your speech because you were looking down at the audience and that did not help. And there was a bit of echo also, which also hampered in me understanding some of the words that you said. So that is the only reason I mentioned them, because that actually took something away from your speech. You lacked a bit of vocal variety. In fact, you became exactly the lecturer that you were trying to tell us about during your speech. So your tone was scholarly, but it was too teacher-like. It needed to be a little more speech-like. And finally, you needed a little more gestures, because your speech had a very good beginning, a very interesting beat of the speech, and then a great transition to end it all. It's a very intriguing story for all of us. We've all heard about Achilles' heel, but for me at least, I did not know that there was this whole story about Achilles' heel being held and escaping the rain. So that was something very interesting, but your tone and the lack of vocal variety a little bit undersold it. So maybe you can deliver the same project with a lot more vocal variety, but overall, given the objectives of the project, which was for you to develop confidence in public speaking, I believe you delivered in spades, because you delivered an unconventional speech with utmost confidence and utmost flow, with amazing vocabulary, and just a little few more gestures and voice modulation could have added much more to the speech. Over to you, General Manager. I believe we are done with the speech. I was hoping to escape, but yeah. Next speaker is myself and Toastmaster Mufaddal. You are well.
So the general evaluator is being evaluated. And the topic was Blizzard of Blizzard. The starting was phenomenal. The mysteries it was completely mysterious. The way he explained the environment in the room, there was complete darkness, and then there was light from the bathroom. The fan was off, and it was a complete mix and match that we were not exactly getting where he would be heading ahead. So, and then suddenly he engaged all of us by his vocal varieties. Yes. During the vocal varieties, we heard the sound of the fan, we heard his screams, we heard the joy of killing of the lizard, we heard the mimicry of TM Anam Kadri as well. And the best part was that he engaged all of us by throwing stuff from the class. Luckily, I was not sitting in the front. TM Imran Rana वहाँ पे समझा नहीं था. Wow, got the privilege for that. For that motto. His body language was amazing. He was using the stage very adequately, moving here and there. At every moment, our eyes were stuck on him. He didn't let us lose our attentions during his speech. And the way he was explaining the fight with the lizard, with his kids, with that Avengers thing, felt like we were also with him and his team killing those lizards with him. So everything was amazing. I also like, beside the humor, he also shared up the knowledge of different types of lizards, their lens, that was new for me and very beneficial for me as well. And I don't have any room for the areas of improvement. Just like his speeches before, this was again one of his masterpieces. Over to you, General.
So much, but you disappointed me by not mentioning any areas of and there were plenty. But so kind of you. All right, now it's time for the table topics evaluated, and but yeah, Mr. Timer, did all the evaluators qualify?
We have one evaluator, DTM Sal Shweb, who took 3 minutes and 34 seconds. The rest of the evaluators are.
Madam President, what do you say?
I think 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And we allowed this, you know.
All right, thank you so much. So I'll be floating the vote. I'll be floating the vote very shortly. Thank you so much, Madam President. And now we have our table topics evaluator, Toastmaster Runner.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Hamid. I'm sure I'm audible and visible.
Yes, you are.
Great. Okay, today Toastmaster Anam Kadri conducted a very amazing session of table topics, and the topics were quite interesting and quite amazing and very in the sense that very easy in the sense that all the speakers spoke quite well. So our first speaker was Toastmaster Ittihad. She was quite confident. Her hand gestures were perfectly aligned with the speech. Her content was good. The only area of suggestion was the camera position, as her head was slightly cut off from the camera, so she can work on that. Overall, it was quite interesting and quite wonderful speech. So congratulations, Toastmaster Ittihad. Then we had Toastmaster Shamam. What I like, the best thing about Toastmaster Shamam's speech, that Toastmaster Shamam spoke quite well, and she has a strong vocal variety. She uses pauses and she emphasizes on the word where it is necessary. So that makes a very wonderful speech. You spoke quite well. It was in chronological order. So all the best, and you ended up with a very beautiful message that there's no need to fear from the fears, take along them and you will succeed. So it was quite well. So I thoroughly enjoyed your valuable speech. Then we had Toastmaster Ali Hassan Babar, and his topic was turning point of your life. So Toastmaster Babar, you spoke quite well, since after a long time you took up a long gap. So I felt you were struggling initially, but and since I didn't see the hand movement, but in the end you brought your hand movements and you spoke, and I can see the confidence in your speech. So keep on coming, and you will definitely regain your confidence. So overall, it was quite good attempt. Then we had Toastmaster Hiba Reis Khan. Toastmaster Hiba Reis Khan, you started quite well, and the only area of improvement, you were clasping your hands, so there's no need to clasp your hand. You can use your hands according to the flow of your speech. So constantly you were watching straight, So there was no eye contact. You could have bring your eye contact towards the audience. You brought your smile in the end. If you could have brought it earlier, you could have what we can say. You could have delivered speech with more confidence and with more ease. So overall, you delivered a wonderful speech. Toastmaster Mariam Aftab Kitwai was our last speaker. She has a strong voice. She also uses good pauses. She also emphasized on words where it is necessary. The only thing which I could suggest is that you should have turned on your video so that I could see your body language. It was your body language perfectly aligned with your speech, but you spoke quite well, and I thoroughly enjoyed your speech. With that, I would like to hand over the charge back to the chair of the parliament.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Narwana, for that comprehensive table topics evaluation. I'm sure that it would have been very useful for all our table topic speakers. And now it's time for the facilitators. And our first facilitator is our grammarian and word master, Toastmaster Mufaddal. And surprise, surprise, he's there. Yeah, come on. Sorry.
I was having biscuit. I wasn't aware that I would be called.
As always. And that's what we time it very carefully. Yeah.
Okay, so the word of the day was uprear. I'm sorry, I was not here for all the time. I also confirmed with TM Fahim that if I've missed anyone, but we confirm that we are on the same page.
Yes, I was paying attention.
Yeah, clearly.
So TM Wahid used the word of the day, and Ali Hasnan, TM Ali Hasnan also used.
Yeah.
Yes, then I missed it. I was paying attention. Okay, so TM Shamam also used the word of the day, and
also.
that was actually used as the word of the day.
Yeah,
okay. Okay, so regarding grammar, I don't think so. I was able to find any grammatical mistakes, and wish you all good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, grammarian. Next is our accountant, who is Toastmaster Faizullah.
Thank you, DTM Talab and Ahmed. I had an easy ride, not many to notes. DTM Sarfraz, as always, none. Toastmaster Anam, none. DTM Talha, none. TM Wahid, just 3 hours, but I think one of the hour was kind of more natural, so I would just say 2 hours. TM Shamam, 1 hour. TM Ali Hasnain, 3 hours and 2 sirs. Myself, I think I did twice on DTM Sarfraz evaluation. TM Mufaddil, 1 sir. TM Imran, 8 hours, and DTM Saad, none. Over to you, Jay.
Thank you so much. Next, we have our listener, DTM Saad. Right, he's not about something.
Yes. So for the Toastmasters and honorable guests, this actually is the last time you'll actually see me here, not at the end. So as for the role of the listener, what was the age of Achilles when he learned to run?
Do we have options?
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That was a good one.
Yeah. 6.
Close.
What did Toastmaster Anam relate the needle to? Needle. She said and that the needle was like
Cupid arrow. Cupid arrow.
perfect.
Wow.
How many species of lizards are there?
6,000.
7,000.
Yeah.
1,000. Yes.
7,000.
Yes, you are right.
7,000.
Who came after Noreen?
Farida.
Only DTM surplus.
No. After that.
Oh.
Next to her.
Farida or
Rashida.
Rashida?
Yes. You understand.
Thank you so much. All right. And next we have our timer, Toastmaster.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, we started 8 minutes late. Yes, we started at 6:48. And then
That's
due to
3 minutes late. 3 minutes late.
sorry,
Fix
my
your,
bad.
fix your arithmetic first
Okay,
before commenting
when
on
did we
timing.
change the timing of the meeting?
Last week.
Okay.
And it was properly announced.
So, thanks to the 3 speakers who did not
Yeah.
who did not deliver the speech, we are pretty much on time. So, surprise, Nazir took 7 minutes and 37 seconds. So, I'm announcing the prepared speeches timing. Toastmaster Wahid took 7 minutes and 26 seconds. Toastmaster Anand Kadri took 5 minutes and 57 seconds. DTM Talha took 7 minutes and 21 seconds. Then we had, could you please share the timings for the table topics?
Oh, no, I can't. I didn't note them, except for the fact that they were all qualified.
Great. Okay, then we had prepared speech evaluations. Toastmaster Fahim took 2 minutes and 44 seconds. DTM Saab took 3 minutes and 34 seconds. DTM Talha took 3 minutes and 22 seconds. And Toastmaster Mufaddal took 2 minutes and 19 seconds. With that, I would like to hand the charge back to the general participants.
So much, everyone. I have just noted the poll for best facilitator. And please vote for the best facilitator. And meanwhile, let me evaluate the meeting in general. So, first of all, it is abhorrent, deplorable, and condemnable and pathetic that 3 speakers did not speak. And we'd rather be on time with having all the speakers than by virtue of not having. So, is that how it's going to be? Because, like, I don't know, I have like 5 other executive committee positions. So, get the message, everyone. So, but the meeting started on time because the designated start time has been 6:45 p.m. since last week. It was announced, and for those living under a rock, better crawl out now and see the writing on the wall.
Okay, then watch out for my messages on WhatsApp.
All right. Thank you so much. And secondly, we struggled a little bit with the assignment of roles this week, but that was to be expected because this is, after all, the first working day. And in fact, we should be grateful that we had a full agenda and full attendance and not many changes to the agenda. So everybody, please give yourself a big round of applause. And I'm now looking forward to no messages on WhatsApp. I hope you are happy. And as for the prepared speeches, today we had only 4 of them, but I believe they were all top-notch and they were all very diverse. And this is something very good about our club, that we have such diversity of people, topics, and levels and personalities, and of course, variety in animals. And there are people who like to make us hungry every time they come on stage. Toastmaster Hiba, you are the #1 culprit. Every time you come on a table topic, you somehow manage to make us hungry.
and check your past recordings. You always do that. So table topics was amazingly done today. It was very professionally done, and topics were not only well thought out, but they encourage speakers to speak very well. So that was something very good. Today we learned a new word, appear. I personally did not know of this word. So thank you, Wordmaster. Very good. You not only let us learn a new word, but we learned to use it in our vocabulary as well. And what else is there? I think everything well according to plan, because as Toastmaster said, we did not have 3 speakers today. So we could have a little bit more expanded table topics. And one thing that I'd like to point out is that all the 3 speakers who withdrew actually were working on their projects, and due to some unforeseen circumstances, they could not prepare for the projects. And I think that is something very admirable, that instead of just jumping into it unprepared, they chose not to deliver the project. So it is something that we should respect always. And with that, I believe that's pretty much it. And I hand over the charge to our Toastmaster of the day and president and joke master, Toastmaster Ibaris.
So much.
Sorry?
So much.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. Actually, Imran was the sound master. Oh. Where is he? Yeah. We'll ask him once he comes.
Okay. Now I call upon the vote for the Big Four. So the Big Four were the TMOE, that is me, TM Himaris Khan, the table topic master, that is TM Anam Kadri, and the table topic evaluator, that is TM Imran Rana, and the general evaluator, that is DTM Kabha bin Hamid. So everyone, please vote for the Big Four, and the link will be floated soon. Apart from that, any announcements to be made?
You can invite me maybe for the announcement. So we've already made the announcement. You can invite guests for comments. Yeah, of course. Okay, he's our guest as well.
Yes, Iftihaj. Can you please have your comments upon the event, upon the session?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for asking me. It was amazing.
You're not audible.
Toastmaster Iftihaj, can you speak up a little bit, or can you come closer to the?
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. The meeting was amazing. I was feeling very lethargic because I traveled a lot, but these 2 hours just made me energetic and full of laughter, because I learned how to cooperate laughter with our roles and all the stuff. I loved it. Thank you so much for this amazing meeting. Although 3 members didn't present the speech.
And apart from that, all the announcements have been made.
We have Toastmaster Luis.
Okay, we have a guest.
Our area director. Area director.
We have area director. Toastmaster Moise. So please, can we have?
Also, our area director one mentioned that meeting was started 3 minutes late, but I was late by 90 minutes to overcompensate it. But since it's the legacy club, and I have always enjoyed visiting this club. Partly due to the fact that because in my home club, I have to do a lot of stuff. Like today, TM Talai and Imran is doing, I have to do it in my club. So today I am just observing the meeting and I am enjoying right now.
Declare the meeting.
No.
Yes.
We have a song master for the day, Toastmaster Imran. You can call him, and then I'll announce the voting results.
So the song master came and asked,
क्यों हाँ सही है आपको ये मतलब है वो वीडियो के
Are you sure?
Yes.
Next.